Hello and welcome. I am Anti-Derivative Jill, and this is Indefinite Lunch in Infinite Combinations number 10. I'm excited today to be reviewing the next two episodes of Season 2 of the Orville, called All the World is Birthday Cake and Happy Refrain. I'm joined here today with Pop Culture Curator and, for the first time ever, Rough Girl.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Jill.
Hello.
And I've included the links to their channels here in the chat.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here's Pop Culture Curator. And Rough Girls didn't work, but it but that's okay. I can get it from my notepad. But it's really great to have you here for the first time, Rough Girl. How are you guys doing today?
Great here. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. There it is. There's her link.
And go ahead.
I was just saying I'm excited for this week in science, fiction altogether, because Doctor Strange 2 comes out, and it's coming out for Mother's Day weekend. So I'm assuming a lot of people are going to take their wives or their families to go see the movie, and I'm loving having the opportunity to talk Orville with you guys.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah, that's true. Doctor Strange. I definitely love the first movie, so we'll see if they can keep that up.
Oh, I'm a big fan of Sam Raimi, the director.
Oh yes, me too.
Yeah. Well, but with the current message that Disney's pushing, I think I'm going to pass.
Well, okay.
I'm not going to fund that.
Do you know who wrote the script? Because sometimes
it doesn't matter. It's been through so many reshoots. The script doesn't even matter anymore. The interview, right? There's been interviews with Raimi and Bruce Campbell saying that it's been through so many reshoots they don't even know how it's going to end up. Yeah. So it sounds like a movie that was shot by a committee. So I'm just not very excited. And with the agenda deal that Disney's pushing right now, I think I'm done. I'm not going to give them any more of my money.
Well, I haven't been keeping up on how Doctor Strange is, so I guess I'll be checking out people's thoughts on it on YouTube.
Yep.
Because
Same here.
I really like Cumberbatch and his work and everything, so we'll see.
Yes. And he's so versatile.
And hello in the chat to Raymond Feliciano. He is here working but listening. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Hope work is going much better for you today than it did the last week. and that's a good point to talk about the movies. That's fun too. And so here at the show, we review 2 episodes of the Orville every week on Tuesday at noon. And the coolest part is that by the time we're done with these episodes, we will have the first episode of the Orville Season 3 on Hulu. Season 4 has not been renewed yet, so I believe a Season 4 can happen if Hulu sees enough attention and support for Season 3. So this is my way of trying to do that. And, in Season 1, we had some really fantastic science fiction, and I'm hoping to see more of that here in the second half of Season 2. And we have to be, serious about it, so Hulu knows what we like.
Yep. Support it if you're a fan.
And today is officially 30 days until Season 3 of the Orville.
Oh, we're right on time.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Me too. Yep. And also in my reviews, I leave out a lot of the really great majority of many of the great jokes unless they're needed for the plot or have a basis in science fiction. So I really encourage everyone to go rewatch these episodes on their own too. So, and I also encourage my panel members, Rough Girl and Pop Culture, to interrupt me anytime they have something they'd like to add. So today we're going to start with All the World is a Birthday Cake. And this episode first aired on January 24th, 2019. It was written by Seth MacFarlane and directed by Robert Duncan McNeill, who played Tom Paris on Star Trek Voyager. He also directed season 1's episode Command Performance. This image right here is of Tala being transferred to the Orville. So being a mid-sized vessel, you know that when you see a ship that's smaller than the Orville, it's usually a science ship. And that's the case here.
Oh, that's interesting. Good observation.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. And this is one of the few episodes that doesn't begin on the Orville, the other one being Majority Rule. And we see a meeting taking place regarding schematics of something that they're creating that will send out a message. But they won't share the news of it until they get a response from that message. And the message they send out is anyone out there. And that reminds me of our SETI program. I used to sometimes run that SETI program at home on my computer.
I did too. Jill, when I was a teacher, I had several computer labs running that program.
That's pretty great. Yeah, it helps them process their data to look out for life in the universe.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you, have you run this program before? And you have.
But I remember it was a screensaver, right? That runs.
Yeah, it's a screensaver. It just runs whenever you're idle.
Yes, I did. I used it on many computers.
Yeah, I think we're. Yep.
I remember they had NASA had a mission where they were sending a probe to Mars, and you could go to their website and put your name in, and it would be on the CD. And I did that along with my students.
Oh yeah, I did that too.
Yeah, I mean, our names are on Mars. Our names are on Mars.
I had forgotten all about that.
Wow, you guys are on Mars, or at least your names.
That's at least our names are.
Look, I'm a big nerd. I even tried to get myself named after a hurricane.
Nice.
Well, you can go submit your name at any time.
Really? To what organization do you submit your name to become a?
Actually, you go to like I think the Weather Center, and they'll connect you to the government org website, and they have. Well, actually, they're already full of names all the way up to 2040. But I do know that they allow you to submit, and it just goes in the pot.
Cool.
They'll send you get a return email.
Yeah, and yeah, that's pretty neat. Thank you for that. I'll check that out, even if I don't get a chance. Maybe sometime 20 years from now, they have a hurricane named after me. Like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that. So anyway, I really liked SETI, and I always liked also Carl Sagan's book about it called Contact. Oh, actually, I hear some TV going on in the background.
I'm trying to mute this. I'm watching Jedi Bill struggle to build a computer on LDG's channel.
Oh my god.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I went ahead and
okay.
I guess stream. Even though I turned down the volume on my phone, StreamYard won't let it. It doesn't turn it off on the phone itself. So I need to close that link.
Yeah, sorry you can't watch that. I can hear LDG talking about.
There it is.
Jedi Bill.
I wanted to watch Bill. No, I love Jedi Bill, but I wanted to see the part where he gets frustrated.
Yeah, right. Well,
that's okay.
I'm sure they'll still be going when we're done here.
Oh, they will be. But consider LDG's helping him. He's in the right hands.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Yep. But it is a little hard doing IT work over the phone, but that's what he does.
Yeah, it's great. He's got that new webcam, so he's got it pointed down at his workplace, and LDG's guiding him. So yeah, it's pretty nice technology. You gotta love it in some ways.
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
Meanwhile, Alexa is running everything in my house.
And Alexa, I haven't gotten an Alexa yet, but I'm thinking about it.
I don't have one of those either.
She's smart. And she's listening when you don't think she is.
I don't know. I haven't seen myself personally. I don't see the purpose or the need. If I want to know something, I look it up. And I don't want something that's listening to me all the time. I don't know. It's just gives me the creeps. Even though I know our phone, I know our phones
It
are doing
insults
it.
you.
No, it excites me. I
Oh,
Excites.
it
mean,
excites you.
Yeah, even
I
our
look.
phones are doing it. I can have a conversation with somebody about something, and I can mention a
Hmm.
certain product or a brand name, and then my phone will start showing advertisements.
Yep.
Yes, that's true. Well,
Back to the
this
Oval
building,
Room.
yeah, right. In this building, this building that they're in is set at. I had to mention where it's set at the Oviatt Library at California University,
Mhm.
which also has been used as Starfleet headquarters for Star Trek.
I
So
was wondering that when they
Wow.
showed some of the exteriors, if it was a college campus. So okay, yes.
and so they're talking there about their attempts to reach out to talk to the universe.
That actor playing the prefect or the president, has he been
Oh
on
yeah,
any previous him? Has he been on any previous Star Trek? Do you know?
His
I
face does look
know.
familiar.
I
Yeah,
have no
he's an
idea.
actor that goes way back. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah.
But
I
anyway,
don't
it's not
know.
important. I can always look it up later.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that later. Hold on, just a moment. Um, just a second.
I understand what you mean about not wanting Alexa. Um, I can go in a room and I'll whisper just to see if she's really learning my speech pattern, and she learns fast.
Yeah, and we hear about people hacking them.
You know what? They will know that I'm the most boring person in the world. They'll be like, "She's asleep again." I'm either asleep on a computer or volunteering. So they'll be like, "Gosh,
There
she
you
does
go.
nothing." Most boring life ever. I like it though.
Yeah, and the best thing you can do is bore the heck out of the NSA.
Oh, that's true.
Oh,
Around here, we know that most of what we say is going to be recorded anyway because we're right next to a military base, but right down the street from the compound where they train special forces guys. So we don't worry about what we say or anything because they're already listening.
Well, I hope they don't have anything in your house that's actually listening. That's not right.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I mean, like I said, I have a boring life. So if they want to look in or listen, they'll be like, "Dang, she's playing that song again. Oh, she's on her computer again." It's pretty. It's basic.
well, yeah, that's pretty fun though. That's good though to have a routine. Tala here, she's introduced and presents herself as confident and all business. And more specifically, she has to admit to having punched her previous captain in order to receive life-saving engineering assistance from a very prejudiced matriarchal society. So this was a way to this
This was our first introduction, right? Because
yeah,
this
yeah,
was a
right.
few years ago. So this
This
is
was
them starting.
right. This is the introduction to Tala to differentiate her from Alara because Tala is being presented as tougher.
Yes, little
And
over eager.
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and I finally watched that video from Talking to Orville by JP to see why Halston Sage left, and it was because of the writers. The writers decided that they wanted a different sort of security officer,
Hmm.
um, one
She's really
that's
beautiful in real life because she's the girl who played on um the Gossip Girl. Oh my gosh, brain
Are you,
fart.
are you talking about Halston Sage, or are you talking about this new one, replacement?
Which one? I can't remember. I'm not looking at the photo. Hold on a
Oh,
second. I got it. Um, is she the one from Gossip Girl?
I don't.
no. I think that was probably Halston.
She's beautiful though.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. Okay, it's the one.
I'm
So
gonna
it was
yeah,
a
I'm gonna
writer's
miss.
decision. That's
Yeah, it
interesting.
was the writer's
Okay.
decision, and they left on good terms. And of course, obviously, that's the case because Alara does come back in later episodes this season.
Well, and apparently they didn't dislike the character because this is almost a direct duplicate. So it must
Right,
have
they're
been the
completely
actress.
open to it.
Maybe it's the actress they felt didn't fit the role correctly. I don't know.
I don't know either. I feel like they could have reworked Alara to be tougher. And I
Maybe
wanted to
maybe
say,
maybe not as young. This one seems a little more older, more
right,
mature,
right. She's more mature. She's more
Mhm.
mature. She's more experienced, more confident.
I wonder if
And
that's it.
yeah, that could be it. And you know, Alara could come back anytime. They didn't kill her off, thankfully.
That's
And
true.
I wanted to say hi to Milton Knowles, the Insane Witch King, and Sir Jacob. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Welcome,
Thank you
everybody.
also for sharing out the stream. That is really
Yeah,
generous of you.
it is. That's so kind of you guys.
Jessica Zohar, that's the one.
Then that would be
Jessica.
the replacement.
Oh, then that is the replacement then.
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
she's
didn't
from
know.
Gilmore Girls or Gossip Girl?
Gossip Girl. And they did her no justice because she's beautiful. And she has her eyes are actually purple. She has Alexandria Genesis, just like Elizabeth. My brain.
Wow,
So
people have
she has contacts in for
real.
this. So she has contacts in for this.
For this, yeah, but her real eyes are like Targaryen purple.
That's too bad. They should show her eyes if that's the case.
Exactly.
Right, right. She's alien, so that makes sense for her to have purple eyes.
Maybe they don't want too much of a distraction. I don't know. So the contacts are blue, it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, as Captain Mercer, we take him hiring another Zillian to show how attached he was to Alara, similar to how Captain Kirk hired another Vulcan as science officer when Spock was away on Vulcan at the beginning of the motion picture.
Sunak.
And yeah, poor Sunak. In reality, things don't end well for him. In reality, we find out that Tala is played by Jessica. You said her name correctly. What's her last name?
I think it was Stroller.
Who
is Jessica Zohar.
Zor. Okay, without the S sound, because there's an S that comes before the Z, but you just drop the S.
Yep.
Okay, because I was gonna say Zor. I was like, yes. All right. Who Jessica, like Alara's actress, was also one of Seth MacFarlane's ex-girlfriends. So that's a thing that exists.
Can I say hello to Milton Knowles right quick?
Oh,
I apologize.
Go ahead. No problem.
I don't have my anything set up over here because I know that as soon as I start switching, I'll accidentally remove myself out of the app. So if you're on the chat, thank you guys for coming. We love you.
Yes. And Milton Knowles says, hello, people on the panel. That said hello to me. I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but I'm playing Elden Rings, and I'm way too underleveled for this character. Well, have fun with the game.
Have fun.
Everybody seems to like that game. I need to try it out.
So Kelly tries to talk to Bortus into merging their birthdays, which Gordon advises against, citing that you'll get less stuff. And I think that's true. Have y'all ever tried to share birthdays with somebody?
Yes.
I had to every year. My sister was born a year and a day before me. So my sister's birthday is April 30th and mine is May 1st.
Ooh, birthday coming up.
I did not like my birthdays at all.
Oh, my family's really big on birthdays. We go all out. As a matter of fact, our birthdays are the equivalent of our Christmases, but most of us are born around the same time. And if you go to the party, you're sharing your birthday with every cousin who has your birthday, which is a lot. And when I went to Vegas, I met Ryan Kennel, whose birthday is a day before mine. And then we got Pop Culture, Casino Culture Casino, whose birthday is a week before mine. And I said, hey, let's do what I do. Start partying on Halloween. We can stop partying on Black Friday and just all have a nice birthday, like at the Florida meetup.
Oh, that's great. No, I usually just spend my birthdays to myself.
Yeah, me too. But that's really cool that you can, spend time with friends that way.
Well, if you're around me and you had a birthday and I knew about it, I would make sure you knew that that's your day. And birthdays are special. That's your day.
Well,
that's what Bortus says too. He says, I want my birthday to be my day.
Right. It's your day.
I don't consider that. I don't tell people about mine. Like mine just passed. I didn't tell anybody. I don't try to draw attention.
Well,
to
happy
myself.
belated birthday!
Happy belated birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But that's why I didn't spend much time online that day. I didn't want people to bring it up.
Oh.
Yeah, it would have happened.
Yeah, it would have happened. I would have been
Nobody
like sending you
knows.
birthday streamers.
Well, I think you'd have already been on. I honestly don't think anybody knows because I don't think I have not told anybody my birthday until up till now, and I don't have
now.
it.
Well, now at least 50 people will know.
Yep.
On the rewatch.
Right,
on the panel here, right? Okay.
Okay, so
and by the way, I'm
right,
getting
right,
older
right,
too.
right.
Another reason not to hear.
I
Another
know.
year that I'm older.
It scares me too.
Oh well.
Well, Tala then picks up some microwaves from the gamma balorum system that's transmitting the message that we learned about earlier. Is anybody out there? So they get ready for the first contact. And it looks like they don't have the same rules as Starfleet, where they only have contact with species that are close to warp travel, or in this case, hyperdrive.
Right, they go storming right in as soon as they get the message.
They're just like, oh, we're so excited. Let's go.
Right, there's a whole montage and everything. They're all excited.
They have a reason for this. They say that not everyone out there will respond to that message kindly. So the Union wants to answer first to prevent somebody hostile. But while that makes sense, it would also make sense to have done some undercover reconnaissance first. But they don't do that. That might have revealed the thing that becomes the issue.
You're right.
But Starfleet doesn't always do that either. As we learned from that one episode where Wesley almost gets killed for stepping on some flowers.
But unfortunately survived.
Well, I have a video. If you ever go to RM Briggs' channel, she has a video correcting that.
Okay. Oh, I definitely need to check that out. I'll put that as a screensaver on my computer.
And Milton Mills says his birthday is on July 25th.
Ooh, hot summer birthday.
Yeah, I would be doing pool parties.
That's the only way to go. So, yeah, then we intro this. Yeah, they're all excited about doing some first contact here.
All right, so this is the college campus you spoke of, right?
Yeah, this is the college campus. This is
palm trees and all, people. Palm trees
beautiful.
Are everywhere. Palm trees are everywhere, even on the alien planet.
It looks good.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Well,
look like
you see,
California
palm trees come not unique to Earth. They've been traveling around on comets all over the universe.
Oh, that's true. Maybe they're alive.
They're our unifier.
Right, and those are not the Los Angeles Hills. But it's okay. We like the show.
Right.
I have to shout out though. I would rather take this any day over everybody standing in front of a green screen all the time. So I do like this.
Yeah, at least being on. At least they're doing something real.
On location, right? And they're going through the effort. They even dressed up the set and everything else. So yes.
Oh, and Milton clarifies that for us it would be super hot, but for him it's a winter birthday because he lives in New Zealand.
Oh my gosh, right. I would die.
That's right. Ooh. Build a campfire.
There you go. Bonfire birthday then. And meanwhile, Dr. Finn and Tala visit a hospital where they notice lots of premature births. And with these premature births come emergency C-sections, lots of unnecessary ones. Dr. Finn runs her comm scanner and determining that there's no real reason for any of these C-sections, any medical reason anyway. And what they find out is that they're trying to prevent celiac births, and celiacs are supposedly violent and destructive. But we're not told any more about that yet. Then we cut to a celebration dinner where Ed makes a corny speech saying he plagiarized it from 9 different things. And again, being a fan of Carl Sagan, I did notice, and at the end of his quote, he said, "We became a way for the universe to know itself," referring to how we're made of star stuff, so we are the universe coming to consciousness. So this is an interesting insight into Seth because Carl Sagan was also critical of astrology, making one of his Cosmos, A Personal Voyage episodes all about it and its role in the history of astronomy.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. That was a good episode too. The fun times end though when Kelly and Bortus reveal that they have their birthdays in about a week, making them fall under the Geliac sign and thus a crime on their planet. So they are taken away. Everyone's just whisked away.
Well, they are whisked. Kelly and Bortus are whisked away, and the crew are told to leave the planet.
Not yet though. First, they're detained.
Okay, right. Oh, that's right. You're right. Sorry about that. The cell.
They are kept for a while because the planet, the other people want to make sure that they're not all Geliacs.
That's right.
So they extract bits of their teeth.
Oh, this isn't like any modern day event or past event in history at all.
No, we don't know any government that bases, well, at least no current government who bases their entire government on astrology.
And if you haven't seen enough parallels in history yet, you definitely will see many, many more in this episode.
Yeah, but there are ancient cultures that did use astrology in their government. So this is a society that still uses ancient astrology, even though their technology has advanced beyond it somehow. I don't know. It seems a little far-fetched. But it's a comedy show, so it kind of makes sense. So there's the extraction of the tooth, or at least a tiny bit of their teeth to determine the birthday, which is actually a real forensic tool that we use, but I suppose their method is more accurate. And they just want to make sure they're not Geliacs. And in this scene, Dr. Finn realizes that a Geliac is a type of astrological sign, showing that the planet takes astrology very seriously and that they're governed by it. Any Geliacs who happen to be born are put into concentration camps, including now Kelly and Bortus. And so that is a shot of that camp and a wider shot there.
Oh, that's not so bad. Look, they have a playground.
Mm-hmm.
A playground. Oh, nice little place to eat and chill. There's some shade over there.
This is like Club Med.
Okay. Maybe it's more like the Japanese camps from Japanese American camps from
the internment,
World War II. Yeah. Yeah.
Still traumatic.
Yeah, I don't see any ovens burning them alive, so it's maybe not quite Dachau.
No dogs, and guard towers with guns. Yeah, they have the guard towers. Yeah.
So here they're being intimidated by this dude, and Bortus proclaims that he is not their prisoner, which prompts the guard to attack him. And so they fight back, and they're told, don't fight back again or you'll be murdered. So it gets pretty dark pretty fast there. And the rest of the crew return to the Orville, where they have a conference meeting with Admiral Perry, played by Ted Danson. Hello?
Oh, Ted Danson.
His connection to Seth involves voice work for his cartoon American Dad and also for the movie called Ted, where he plays himself. Personally, when I was a kid, I rewatched 3 Men and a Baby probably way too many times.
Yes. Did you look for the ghosts? that they were
Yeah.
talking about.
It's a cardboard mock-up. It's not a ghost. It's a
I
cardboard
know.
mock-up.
I watched it a million times looking for that doggone ghost.
A friend told me that was him. Like he was hiding there. Like,
No,
okay,
it's a cardboard. It's a cardboard
it's a
mock-up
friend.
of Ted Danson as a kid, and it was used for a previous scene, which was edited out of the movie. So it's just a cardboard mock-up.
That's funny.
But you know, it's strange because that movie marked like the highlight of Linda Moy's directing career.
Yeah, so I was just about to say.
Yeah, and
that
and then after
exactly.
that, he made The Good Mother, which was a total disaster, and it ruined his career.
But I hear it wasn't a bad movie. I never saw it, though.
I just remember it was a financial disaster, which is all they care about, right?
Yeah. Well, used to.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame. He was a great director. I wish he could have kept going.
Yeah, I wish he would have stuck with Star Trek. And if he would have done 5, it would have been a whole different story.
Oh.
Yeah, I bet he could have brought Shatner's dream to life if he were directing it. Like if Shatner would should let him do what he wanted, and he would have done a really great job, I think.
Right. I think William Shatner, I love him. I'm a huge fan, but he's the kind of person who writes and then this and then and this and this, and it's just it was a jumbled mess. But oh well, that's for a different day.
And Bortis then, and then sorry, keep some extra food that they've been stashing for her because she's pregnant.
I did not like this scene at all. No. This is what I told you earlier that this is the scene right here that made me dislike this episode. It's the context. Right. By the way, this scene is directly removed from a couple World War II movies. I'll put it that way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, yes, it is.
Tell me more.
Yeah. Well, it was the same thing. They couldn't allow their babies. In the movie, they couldn't allow their baby to be heard, and a mother was hiding the baby. And the guards were coming to inspect him. They heard the baby cry, and they pulled the baby out. That's what happened in the movies.
Oh, okay.
They did this also in Man in the High Castle.
Right, and here they weren't going to do that. They had to make white man bad. So her husband's a total coward. The bully that walks up is a total coward. Everybody's I feel like I was watching that Gillette commercial that was made a few years ago. I really.
Whoa, that didn't come up for me at all.
It did for me.
Interesting perspective.
It did, and then it totally made me dislike this episode.
How many years ago was this episode?
Okay.
3, 4.
Okay, so things hadn't gotten bad as they are now, and we were dealing with the president that we had that is no longer in office that everyone seems to hate, but not realizing that the one we had was a doofus.
So, but Hollywood was always Hollywood.
Oh yeah, Hollywood's never changed.
Yeah.
So this is probably them starting to feed us the nonsense.
I didn't like it.
Because I'm looking for other shows.
It's definitely really mild because I didn't see that. I had a different perspective on what happened here, but the couple reveals that no one has ever tried to escape because they believe that they belong in their camp due to their sign, their star sign, that supposedly gives them inherent violent tendencies.
Again, did they say that they're not allowed to have live natural births?
No, they didn't say that.
Okay, I was wondering if I had missed that or what. Okay.
But it is interesting that they don't try to cut her open before the Geliac to steal her baby. That is an interesting thing that doesn't happen.
Right.
That would have been obviously an evil thing to do, but something that the planet would do.
Right, and apparently in this camp, they're subject to constant raids by the officers. They would have noticed she was pregnant some time back, but
but that's not really
story.
Right. I'm not trying to make this episode more dark than it needs to be. But
no, I know.
Logically, that's where it goes, right?
Unfortunately.
But they do it in a comical way. And even though it's dark, they still have a way of introducing things to us without making it so heavy.
Well, yeah, they do keep it light. Yeah, they do keep it light. It's not so dire.
I enjoy anything but the darkness.
Great. And some of the lighting helps with that too. Ed tries to convince the prefect that the star's gravity thousands of light years away will have no influence on someone's personality, but it's no use. He can't make that argument for him because it's kind of like insulting their whole government, their whole belief system and everything. So it doesn't work.
There are a lot of people here who still believe that the full moon affects people.
Right. Well, the moon is a lot closer than not. They do
matters.
Possibly. Not saying that it matters. There's no proof it matters, but it does have more of a gravitational effect. I feel like the moon has more of an effect on the Earth than, obviously.
Oh, that's true. Well, yeah, absolutely.
The stars and the constellations that are like he says, light years away.
If I had to choose between the moon and the stars and constellation, I'm choosing the moon. I like the tides being contained.
Right, and that also helps regulate the weather.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all believe that personalities are actually based around people's astrological signs? Because people always say Taurus, the bull, they're stubborn, and so forth and stuff like that. So that's similar to like what you're saying here, right? People are being labeled by their astrological sign of what kind of person they are. People are saying Pisces is usually a calm person or whatever, and Gemini is this. It's really old fashioned, but some people still believe in that.
Yes, I've actually gone on a date with the guy, and he said, "What are you?" I mean, I'm like a woman. And he's like, "No, what's your zodiac sign?" And he said, "I told him I was a Scorpio." And he's like, "When is your birthday?" I'm like, "November 16th." He's like, "Oh, you're middle of the month Scorpio. I don't know if I could be with you." I'm like,
no.
He sounded really like asshole-ish. Oh, sorry, excuse me, like a butt.
I
like a butt.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that either. Yeah, I had a date. I was on a date too, and I had a girl last week. She goes, "So, what's your sign?" And I said, "Detour." Yeah,
love it. Love it.
That was the end of the date.
Yeah, there's the red flags for you, but as long as the person knows it's just for fun, it doesn't have any basis in reality.
Yes, correct. Yes.
I don't mind, but if they're taking it too seriously as to judge your entire personality based on it, like they did to you, rough girl, then that's a bit of a problem.
Right.
But still, don't you like the way the show it's introducing these things to us before Hollywood got their heads on it? I mean, like big Hollywood, and turned it into a whole Me Too / BLM type show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I like the fact that we can watch it. I mean, if it was done today, do you think that the Orville would have to implement these topics or say something about what's going on in society?
I guess we'll find out in 30 days.
Yeah, we'll find out next month.
I hope they shut it all out.
Yeah, me
especially
too.
now that Disney is their overlord. I hope not.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they don't have really any influence at all on Seth, because he's been doing an exemplary job up until now.
He's a creative. I love
it. Except for those hidden things that you're finding that I don't see. Pop culture. So
it's just
Ted
the way
Danson,
they treat men. I just don't agree with it because they're very racist and they're very clear about it. And I just don't agree with it. I don't think any one race should be picked out and constantly ridiculed. Doesn't matter who they are, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. We can right. We can agree to disagree on that. And the Orville has been there for a month. So Admiral Perry says that they're ordered to go back to duty in the next day, because they'll send a diplomatic envoy to take up the effort. And meanwhile, I guess they're talking about the problem here, and Tala, I'm sorry. Tala, I wonder how many times I'm going to make that mistake. Tala here suddenly comes up with an idea. Just by staring out at the constellation here. And meanwhile, the prefect announces that a new sign they've entered a new sign, and the babies born under it are going to be great and lucky and wonderful and all fantastic. And I don't know. I don't really have any notes about this, but this is what they're feeding Kelly and Bortis. And
That's gross.
yeah, right? No. I would love to see the art department notes on this, on what this
Maybe
was.
refried beans. I
Yep.
don't know.
Yeah, but it's the
Some
wrong
mashed
color.
potatoes and maybe some turkey gravy.
It's a mixture of things for sure. That makes
Well, good
sense.
thing. Yeah, good thing there's no corn in there.
Oh goodness.
There's chunks of something black in it.
Yeah.
There is. Yeah, the solid pieces.
um, and then Kelly helps the baby be born here because she don't want any doctors to come, obviously, because they'll take the baby. And there you go. And then we see Tala's idea. They put the constellation on the main viewer. Tala wants a multispectral scanning beam to find black holes, which they found, which they just happened to find black hole. I really don't know her reasoning for guessing that so precisely. That was just really lucky. Like they got to a certain point in the script and they realized they ran out of time and they just had to solve it really, really fast.
Yeah, well,
That's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'd like to know more about that. Why does Tala come up with this answer so quickly? What is her background that explains this? Because I would like to hear more about that. I just don't know. And it turns out that the collapse of the star occurred 3,122 years ago, right around when the planet began to track the stars, which is coincidentally around when we started doing astrology and stuff, and astronomy in general. Because back then, astrology and astronomy were basically considered the same thing. And the collapse sent an omen. The collapse of the star during that time sent an omen to those astrologers so that anyone born under that sign was considered unlucky. And that somehow grew into being, just bad, terrible criminals for us, for society and everything. So there we go. They decide that they need to create a star to save Kelly and Bortis, plus the rest of the ILICs. But Lamar has a way where they won't have to create one. And here they carry on one of the greatest Star Trek traditions, which is gluing things to babies' faces. And we see the guards, being jerks more. And it seems here that the father wants better life for the baby, rather than having to hide under the floorboards her entire childhood. So,
right. What Jill's referring to is they're saying that even though these people are shunned, if this baby is born, this baby will be put in high regard,
right.
like royalty. And in fact, they even say it will replace the prefect of the society, right?
I think that the baby will become a leader. I'm not sure that the baby will be a prefect.
Okay.
But maybe that's the implication.
But that's basically the disagreement between the mother and the father. The mother says no, the baby should be with its mother.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little dark.
And of course, to drive it home, of course, they kick her while she's crying.
Right.
Oh Lord.
Bad white man. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
just like that scene.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just see it as him being a jerk, not being. I didn't see his color. I didn't really that the color didn't play anything into it for me.
Me neither.
But you've got your opinion is.
I would like to
appreciate it here.
After this, I'm going to do some research. I really want to know at what point, like what particular movies in the past couple of years did they just start doing this, because I do recognize it in a lot of today's television and a lot of movies from
Well, usually you find it directly in the script, the ugliness.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
because
And the ugliness is not in the script itself.
usually when they claim diversity, you'll see a wide variety of races on the screen, but just note to yourself who's the bad guy each and every single time out of all those different races on the screen. And
Yeah.
that's getting old. It's getting old.
Oh, I believe you. Trust me. I'm a child of the 90s. I lived through black people being nothing but slaves, criminals, and prostitutes.
Right. Indians being nothing but scalp hunters, right? The
Yeah.
usual.
I think we've evolved past our stereotypes.
Apparently we haven't.
That's
It's
a
just
fair
that
point.
now it's a different race under the microscope is all.
Yeah. Well, it's meant to divide, and we're bringing people together.
Yep. Yeah, you're right about that. It's division.
And what we want is infinite diversity and infinite combinations on all of our villains. We want villains of every
Of every
stripe.
kind, right? Every size, shape, everything.
You know,
Color.
if I had a chance to go on a starship, if people came to me and like, let's go, I'd go. I honestly would.
Like here's a perfect example. A perfect example is anybody who has seen any of the old Agatha Christie work, like 10 Little Indians.
Yeah.
It would introduce you to a room full of people from various backgrounds. You had absolutely no idea who the killer is. And now you could automatically see a room with 10 people and say, oh, I know who the killer is. It's that guy, that creepy looking white guy in the back that looks like, you got the rings around his eyes like the father did here. They even had makeup on him to make him look like the bad guy. I'm surprised he didn't have the twirling mustache. It's just, now you can point him out who's going to be the bad guy. A lot of the reviews, people say that. They say, well, you could tell who the bad guy is from the beginning of the movie. And yeah, that's who turns out to be the
And
bad
with
guy.
a lot of television shows, you can already tell who's going to be the winner.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a straight white guy. It's not going to be a straight black guy. It'll be somebody else with many things going on.
Yeah, but I know that's a different subject.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, Joe. I do. I love what Milton Knowles has been typing.
Yeah, right. Because he is a witch, so he does know a bit about astrology. So he says here, star signs would never use for judging personalities, as in you're going to act like this or that. They were used to help correspond to an astrological chart, and it's more to say what you're predisposed to. There's that. And he has never noticed any stereotyping whatsoever. I am completely, utterly without any sort of sense. Okay. What? All right. So Lamar suggests a solar cell to simulate a star, because they're going to simulate a star to make it look like the star is returned to Geliac, to exonerate all of the Geliacs on the planet from being seen as criminals due to their astrology government. And they say that they can jam the telemetry so that the object will read as a star to the people. And Kelly is she's driven by the family separation she just witnessed, because what just happened spurred her to escape. But what happens here is an extreme amount of violence and killing, especially on a first contact mission. But I guess this is an extenuating circumstance. When you put in a prison like this, you often have a fight or flight response.
Right. So much for the Prime Directive.
Oh yeah, but they don't have the Prime Directive precisely.
No, right, not precisely those words, right?
Yeah, they hinted to having something similar to one, but have not revealed to us the exact framing of that law.
And here's where we get another one of our Hollywood tropes. You got to have the breakout scene, like from prison.
There's right. That's what this is. This is a typical let's get out of here and kill people and have action. And look, Kelly with the
pew pew
gun here. Pew,
I want
pew,
one of those
boom,
guns
boom.
that shoot fire. When you guys find one, let me know.
A flamethrower?
No, not one, but every television show that has somebody shooting, instead of bullets, you shoot fire.
Oh, that's usually when it's CGI. They're not using live rounds on the set.
Right, they're not using tracers.
Yeah, and thanks to Mr. Baldwin, I don't think we'll see any more live rounds anymore on the sets. Who knows?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think it'll all be CGI from now on. They still have not shown Bortus's full capabilities. He seems to be very, I still wonder what he's capable of, but maybe we'll see more in the next season.
You're right. Milton says, extreme amount of violence and killing, he say. Please go on. Sounds like the kind of peaceful mission for me. So in the next scene, Lamar and Malloy, they're about to kill Bortus and Kelly here on the stakes. But Lamar and Malloy set up the solar cell so that this fake star appears before Kelly and Bortus are killed. So that just happens. Everything happens just in time, right at the end.
Naturally.
Yeah, this is a pretty fun solar cell, though. I like it. And, of course, naturally also the star appears just in time. They don't get killed. And everyone can live happily, although not completely honestly, ever after.
And I didn't realize that the first time I watched this a few years ago, but her boyfriend does have a larger role in this. He's got a reoccurring role in these episodes. The teacher.
Mm-hmm. The teacher, yeah, he's there.
Yeah, I had forgotten about that.
Mm-hmm. And he's got that turtleneck going. I don't know. Well, the Orville, it plants stuff. Someone says something, and you don't realize its significance until later. So we'll see.
But yeah, I'm glad it has some consistency. That's actually refreshing.
Right. There is continuity, and I like that too. And they at least do mention that they know that this lie is going to come out sooner or later. So they mention that they don't know the moral implications of having done this lie because who knows how the planet will react to it. And that leaves things open for maybe a follow-up episode when they do find out or something like that. They could probably do something
possibly
about the consequences
if the sale fails,
because it's the consequences have a positive effect of freeing all of the Geliacs, but if you're watching Star Trek, they probably wouldn't have done that because of the Prime Directive, because sometimes the positive effects that you cause to happen also cause worse effects later. But I don't know. We'll see. And Kelly suggests by the time they figure that out that they won't care about astrology anymore anyway. We'll see about that. And they have a birthday party on the bridge. Okay. So, what did you think of this episode, Pop Culture Curator and Rough Girl? What were some of your favorite parts?
I did like this episode. There's a few scenes, like I said, that I disagreed with, I guess would be my opinion.
I think that's fair enough.
But overall, I would give it maybe... Oh, and I have to be honest with and agree with Dalek 451. This season is slow so far. I know it picks up because I've seen it. Yeah, but it is slow. These two episodes were, I would say, slow. Mm-hmm. But I would give this 3 out of 10.
This was their first try at a
C. How about that? A C.
Okay. A C is fair. A C is fair for this one.
Yeah.
It is their first attempt at doing a first contact episode. You're right.
There was laugh when Clyde laughed. It made me laugh. This is a funny scene.
Oh, right.
Right, Clyde laughed and Bortus did not.
Bortus was not amused.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a fair score actually, a C. And Milton says, if the aliens are aliens, they may have a different biology, and at certain times of the year, if people are born, it may give attributing factors towards crime that may not have destroyed that society.
Like the killer gene the humans have, some humans have, are predisposed, because of a gene that they carry.
Oh, he's saying that maybe there is a cosmological reasoning for them believing in astrology that is actually based in real science that the Orville is completely unaware of because they don't know anything about this race. Who knows? Could be.
I think it's cool how they implement so many different things in so many different ways, just like the original Star Trek.
Yeah.
Hello, I love food. How are you?
Yeah. Hi, I love food. Firm handshake back at you. And are you guys ready to go on to the next one?
Sure.
So StreamYards has been annoying me because they used to be able to let you switch tabs, but now I have to completely stop sharing and then share again.
Yeah, I've been running into crazy problems with StreamYard, and I've been answering their little survey at the end, getting in their butt.
Yeah, I'm going to respond to them about this, and I'm sure they're getting lots of complaints about what they've done to the share Chrome tab. They've broken it, basically. So here's the next one. Before I was able to do it a lot more seamlessly. So here's the Happy Refrain. And this episode was written on January 31st, 2019. It was written and directed by Seth MacFarlane. And if anyone's seen these episodes, feel free to vote into the poll here. We have 4 votes so far. All 4 votes are going to A Happy Refrain, which is the episode we're looking into right now. And this episode begins with Claire asking Isaac for help with her paper on nanosynthesis regarding how tissues regenerate on Zillions. And finally, this was just a little bit of science fiction that I could just grapple onto, so I want to talk about it just a little bit, even though it doesn't really have that much. It's not featured very heavily in this episode, but nanosynthesis is a real thing, and it's definitely still more in the theory phase than actual application phase, but they are trying to apply it in certain things in reality. And research papers are being written about it. And even a research one from just 2020 says that the biggest obstacle in this method that we have right now is
I'm so sorry, ladies. I was on the phone. I hope I didn't miss anything.
Oh, no, you didn't miss anything. I'm just starting to talk about A Happy Refrain, and I'm just going off about nanoparticles and nanosynthesis because they barely mentioned it at the beginning, so I just wanted to talk about it a bit.
Great, thank you.
And in reality, the biggest problem that they have with these nanoparticles is that it's hard to get them uniform and stable without using a lot of chemicals that cause toxic waste. So right now, it's not really a feasible thing to use, but when it is, if they could figure that out, it could be revolutionary in terms of medical, cosmetic, food applications, information technology, transportation, energy, and environmental science. But how is that the case? You're gonna have there's a site that I put in the description below that says that it can make cars lighter, make them more fuel efficient, and it could make electronics more flexible. But I'll stop there for now due to my lack of understanding of how all this works. But this is a really cool thing that we're going to have pretty soon. It's near future science fiction.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah,
hey,
you're
Jill,
welcome.
can I step in for a second and tell Milton, I apologize if I offended you. I was just acknowledging the fact that I was watching a CSI earlier, and they were talking about people that were predisposed to certain actions because of their genes or whatever, or chromosomes. I wasn't saying that as, like maybe that's what they were doing in the movie. I was just making a comparison of another show I saw. But no, I wasn't, trying to be very serious about it. Kind of light today.
Okay, Milton Nose says the killer gene is like saying there is a genetic predisposition for people defecating gold nonsense. Okay. Oh, okay, gotcha. All right.
We're both making a joke about it, so I guess it's all good.
Right.
I like this.
So-
I like this particular episode. I kind of got
Me
that
too.
interspecies dating, vibe about it. I'm all for that.
Yeah,
I have a question for you two then.
sure.
Because once again, I'm sorry, I was looking at the context, the subcontext. Do you think that they're introducing pansexual to us?
Can I ask you a question?
That's what Solo did with
What
Star
is
Wars.
what is pansexual?
Humans' sexual relationships with robots. They introduced it in a Disney movie, Han Solo.
Oh, see, I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah,
I never saw Han Solo.
Lando Calrissian, who was a big Star Wars character from the original movies.
Hell
They
yeah.
suddenly made him pansexual in the new Han Solo movie, where he
They
was in love
made
with a
Billy
robot.
D. Williams pansexual.
Yes.
Ah, that's
Where he was in
pissing
love
me
with a
off.
robot. Yes. So it could be just me, but that's what I read into this episode. But I don't know.
I don't know. I'm highly uneducated in those matters.
Well, I am too. I know very little, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Yeah, I don't know anything much about it. I don't hear the term very often. So if
I know it from the
ignorant
Star
on
Wars
something,
movie. Yeah.
Please educate me.
And I Love Food says that he agrees that blaming wickedness on genes is a bad thing.
And hello, I Love Food.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I would never do. I mean, I was just talking about
something you saw on TV.
Yeah, CSI, and I'm just like, I love to go down rabbit holes, but it's only for gaining information. I was just trying to make a correlation.
A correlation from one fictional program to another fictional
program.
Another,
yeah.
And to be honest, we may, in the future, we may have robots or androids or machines that are so realistic that people have affairs with them. That is possible. I mean, people already have love dolls, and one guy married a love doll. Did you guys hear about the one guy that married a hologram?
No.
This is not
Wait a minute. We don't even have holograms yet.
He did. Listen to this. Is hilarious. It's a guy in Japan. I was just reading about it the other day. He married a hologram, and then the voice stopped working on the hologram.
Oh boy!
But I'm not joking. Yes. So it is possible.
I'll have to look that up. That's interesting. Yeah, right. We do see parallels in reality that are leaning towards having relationships with technology. The more intelligent we make it.
That's kind of scary.
It is.
It is. It's cold. If people start turning to machines better than other humans,
Well, I do feel that society is trying to make it where all they want is us in our houses, connected to our computers all day long.
The World Health Organization said so.
Yeah, I can't live like that.
They said by the year 2030, we'll live at home. We won't own anything. We'll rent everything, and we'll be happy.
No, I don't think so. I can't live like that.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
We need that sunshine.
No, it does not sound like fun, but it's the World Health Organization saying that.
Yeah, the people who refuse to admit that we were in a pandemic.
Well, they didn't want us to know that we created it. They were hoping the truth would not come out about Anthony Fauci lying, but that's a different subject. I don't want to get it.
Or the truth about him murdering puppies. I mean,
or the puppies, right? But we don't want to get this channel stricken. We know that you say anything, and
we are not doctors.
Oh, they're not worried about that. They're more looking to see if I say the word Russia. Anyway. Sorry.
Or China bad. Don't want to say that.
Right. And actually, okay, so let's get back to the episode before I start talking about Russia. And actually, it's in the trivia that what Claire is working on here is so realistic that the scene here uses actual text from a real website called, I don't know what the website's called, but the title of the article is Tissue Engineering and Regenerative Medicine, which was posted on the National Institute of Biomedical Imaging and Bioengineering website. Oh, there's the website then. And I Love Food says, I want a sex bot and a flying car. Or a combination of the two. Transformers.
I'll take the combination. You can fly and have fun at the same time, I guess.
Milton says pansexual means that some of the biological pansexual means the same as bisexual, accepted, more inclusive, sometimes too inclusive. And some include robots and toys. And you can't have relationship of objects. Okay.
Well, you'd hope. Or currently.
So.
Yeah, just talk to Tom Hanks / Wilson, huh?
I don't know anything about that. Oh, right, Wilson. Of course, yes, I love that movie. Passed away. Yes. Well, of course, he had to make his friend.
And there was a relationship. It's not a sexual one, but there was
and
a relationship.
I was devastated when Wilson falls off of the raft.
Yeah.
All the people that cried over poor Wilson.
I cried. I'm a sap. What can I say?
Right. Well, that was his only
even
friend.
the audience had a relationship with Wilson.
And that is part of our foibles as humans, as we do assign relationships sometimes with inanimate objects.
We're all walking around here trauma bonded.
Right.
Anyway, Bortus asks for a mustache. So let's just go back to that. So Claire uses her follicle stimulator because Mocklins do not grow hair on their face. That is interesting that they have any hair underneath to grow then if they don't naturally grow hair there.
Right.
So, but so based on that, Captain Picard would probably really like to live in the Orville universe. Although that their excuse for that said that he likes being bald or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so Star Trek doesn't have the technology to give them hair. I never thought about it.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
They said that he just doesn't care.
But there's a lot of bald guys in Star Trek, right?
Right, and a lot of bald guys in Star Trek don't care.
Don't care.
No hair, don't care. Isaac corrects. Isaac comes here. He gives her a banana because he knows she gets moody without eating, and Bortus shows up on the bridge for the first time with his mustache, and I don't know. I think it looks all right.
He looks like a porn star.
Yeah, kind of. Gordon likes it because it was his idea, and Seth is Ed is chastising him for giving Bortus these ideas. Like, what do we've talked about this before. And I guess I missed it here, but at one point, Isaac corrects Claire's paper, and she wants to do a favor for him, but Isaac says, "It is unlikely you'd be able to offer any useful insight into my research. My intelligence far exceeds yours." Only since it might be relevant, I'll also mention that Isaac notices she changed her hair. Also, in addition to bringing her a banana.
He thought maybe she had changed it to keep it warmer.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he always thinks things are functional.
Didn't you know you can't talk about a black woman's hair? Didn't Will Smith teach you anything?
Well, you can compliment him.
I'm just messing with you.
I was actually listening and trying to learn something here. Wait a minute, what?
No, I saw opening and tried to walk through it slowly.
That's a good one. That's hilarious. So, yeah, there's that. And then we have Ty's piano lesson, which, of course, we know that Isaac has been helping Ty with his piano lesson. And
he does play like a robot, though. To be a human child, he plays very choppy.
And this is actually Ty playing here.
I was wondering that did he learn just for this one shot, or does he actually learning how to play the piano?
Yeah, it's actually Kai Werner is his name, and he's actually playing the music himself.
You can
Very
tell
cool.
he's playing.
Can't wait to see what the boys look like in the next season.
Yeah. Claire thanks Isaac in the after party. And there's some jokes here that Norm says that are pretty funny. I laugh a ton of times, over a dozen times during this episode. Way
Me
more.
too.
Way more than I did in the previous episode. So they found a balance of humor in this one that's a lot more effective. I don't know what they did, but they need to recreate that magic every time.
Yeah,
and
it's
hello
not
in
quite
the
as
chat.
dour.
Right. Hello in the chat to Cam's Crash Courses.
Hey,
Great to
Cam.
see you.
Hello, Cam.
Hey, Cam.
And she finally forgot. Okay, so what are we doing here? And the recital's over, and they have an after party. And Claire thanks Isaac at the after party where Isaac is using the time to observe humanoid behavior. That's what he's always doing throughout the whole episode. He reiterates that. And Dr. Finn also has entirely forgotten that he doesn't have emotions. I guess just in this scene she mentions it. But the reason is because she's growing more and more attached to him, and she enjoys how he helps Ty, and this isn't really an ordinary attachment like with the friend, like with Wilson or with Data and Jordy.
Right.
But this is actually love that she's having for Isaac. And she admits this to Kelly in the next scene here coming up. And as expected, and as we know, her interest in Isaac began after he saved and cared for her children when they were on the zombie plague planet. And this has come up before in Star Trek, that time that Data tried having a girlfriend who was a complete, well, this girlfriend that Data had was total idiot compared to Dr. Finn. And she kept expecting Data to alter his programming to fake emotions and predict the correct responses that she wanted, and it did not end well. However, Dr. Finn here is quite the opposite of that, since she does have high intelligence, and she does, even though I mentioned it previously, she does understand in actuality that Isaac does not have emotions. And her relationship with him works very well on a functional basis. You've got to imagine that the paper he helped her with was not the first time he's helped her with the paper. And ever since that shuttle accident on the zombie cannibal plague planet, he has shown interest in filling in as a fatherly figure in terms of experimenting with parental rearing of the children. Aside from helping Ty with his piano, he's also assisted Claire with the dreaded parent-teacher conference and helped exonerate Marcus. It's easy to imagine several other unseen interactions where Isaac helps improve Claire's life, and her family dynamic helps him with his goal of studying carbon-based life forms. As long as she knows that there's no chance for any emotional feedback, they really could just continue on like this with no changes at all, and that would be fine. And if she feels, like kissing his shiny metal head every once in a while, he probably really doesn't mind. And Kelly asks without asking if Isaac is fully functional, but Claire says she didn't even think about that.
It's an emotional connection.
Right.
For her.
Exactly. And in the next scene, we see Isaac working on the quantum bubble ray, the quantum accelerator. This thing right here. That quantum accelerator comes from that first episode, Old Wounds, where Dr. Aronov was working on it. She was killed by the machine. So Isaac here is picking up her research on her temporal equations. It's interesting to me that I found out that this machine we saw also uses similar technology to the hyperdrive engines. And instead of learning anything more about that, though, we have to wait until later to see why this is on the ship and why Isaac is looking into it. So here's more of that continuity that you don't realize is happening.
I didn't until you brought it up. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It will. Oh, and hello in the chat to Snortopupus Cuber.
Hello.
He stumbles in. He stumbles in and waves to all the humans and other critters.
He's cool. He's loyal.
Yes, he's great. What a great bear that is. Noel said, his experience with love is that it causes a lot of emotions. However, it's more than just emotion personally. He doesn't have the ability to explain it properly. Well, who does?
If you guys are enjoying the stream, please hit the like button.
And here in this next scene, we see Isaac going to Lamar for help with his date. And Yaphet is shocked to discover that Isaac is going on a date with Claire. Poor Yaphet. Yeah, extremely jealous, of course. And afterwards, we see Lamar and Gordon speeding down the corridors to tell the bridge crew. They've got to tell them in person, apparently.
And that past picture you showed, I guess, highlights the fact that I guess the bridge is not handicapped accessible.
Right. There's a spiral staircase up to the bridge.
Right.
That's a good point.
If you're in a wheelchair, imagine trying to get up that, huh?
Well, I would imagine wheelchairs in the future would be like hovercraft.
Well, you think they'd have a lift? Nice. Well, even if you're in a hovercraft, getting that up and around those stairs, but a lift seems like would be the easiest. I don't know.
Oh yeah, like
that's
those little rascals.
Yeah. I mean, we have that technology now. That could be. Yeah, right. That's a great point. That could be pretty funny if they actually have somebody who needs some help with that. We'll see if they ever address that.
Right. Well, it's okay. Sorry, go on.
He said, "Well, it's okay."
Sorry, go off on a tangent. I was just thinking
that's a good
these days you'd have a lawsuit. Somebody would be suing you because they can't get their walker down the stair or something like that.
They sure would.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we see Claire getting all dressed up for the date in the orchestra, and also Isaac being all dressed up too, and so they're looking good.
This is funny, I thought, because it looks like somebody dressed him, which is funny.
Yeah, probably somebody did.
Well, you're right, because he probably can't with those gloves on and everything in the suit, but they made sure he looked like it was awkward, like he had never done it before, and I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wear this, it's cool.
Right, this will do. So is this a hologram, or do they actually carry this entire orchestra around with them on the ship?
This is a traveling orchestra.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I enjoyed this orchestra. They did a rendition of "Singing in the Rain."
Yeah, it was a nice scene. Yes.
And Seth's really into orchestras. I would love to go to an Orville one.
And classics. He likes classics, which is a good thing.
So if they ever did a symphony tour, I would probably go to it. And how fun it was to just get everybody dressed up in makeup, but also they got to play these instruments. Well, not everybody has to, but that certain clarinet player there had to. And here Clyden's complaining about the mustache. He does not like it, but Topa does. And here's where the conductor says that he enjoys traveling all around all the ships in the Union to do their performance. So yes, they come and go. And in this next scene here at their dinner date, I have the same opinion. I find out that I have the same opinion about the rain as Claire does, as long as I don't have to drive in it. She says, when I was on Earth, I used to sit outside on the front porch before a thunderstorm and smell the ozone in the air. And then the rain would come crashing down in big, dark curtains, and it was exciting and beautiful and humbling and wonderful. And that's the same for me. And it just doesn't rain enough where I live.
Same here. I'm in California. It's a constant drought.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nice. It cleans the air. It's refreshing, especially when you're asleep. You can hear it on the pounding on the roof and tapping. I love it.
Maybe that's why I love it so much, is that it doesn't happen enough.
Yes. I love the smell of rain. There's something pure about it.
It is. It's clean and refreshing.
Yeah. And I grew up on a farm, so when I go home, that's nothing but farmland. And you can smell the rain like for days. The fresh ground when the water hits it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, nice. Away from the city without all that pollution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. And I like to watch it hit the pavement. Isaac points out exactly what I was thinking regarding trying a simulation of the rain, but she says that the simulation doesn't get it exactly right. But she does like the simulation they are in, which is the duplication of her favorite restaurant. Isaac found out from her personnel files about that restaurant, which also told him about her favorite movie, both of which he recites information about to excess, just like Data would do. And Claire wonders if there's nothing he doesn't know about her. So we learn from this scene that Claire's favorite animal is a dolphin, her favorite drink is champagne, and her favorite food are potato cakes.
Doesn't this kind of remind you of like before you go out on a date, or when you
Mhm.
see it on TV, people who Google their dates, so they already know pretty much everything about them?
Yeah, some of them have. There's agencies you can hire, and they'll actually investigate the background of those people.
Okay, so the Googling I could understand, but hiring someone to investigate someone, that's kind of
They do. I
a red
know.
flag.
I know, but they do. Yeah, they even have
I
their
wouldn't.
credit checked and everything.
Oh my God. Okay, so I'm okay with the Googling, but the credit check and the
Let's take it a little farther.
that's a little extreme.
Yeah, you think.
Now I want your vaccination records or whatever.
I'm sure that would be on the top of the list now. Yes. By the way, I'm in California and I just moved last month, and many places I looked at, it said right there at the top, "You must be vaccinated."
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Yes. So yeah,
Oh my
we're living in
gosh.
that world now. And it says right there, it says all of us are vaccinated. You must be vaccinated too. It said that at almost every place I looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yes, it
And
is.
you were able to find a place that didn't have that?
Yes.
That's good. I'm glad.
Right, because it's not their business and it's not my business. So that's the way it should be.
Exactly. That's the way it is in Texas. I haven't seen that here.
That's the way it used to be in Texas. You guys have so many people from California moving there. It's going to be California again. It'll be California too.
Hopefully it's only California and Austin.
Well,
Thank you,
the first
Cam.
thing they did when
I
they
can't
got
see
there
the
was they
chat,
opened the
but I
border.
appreciate it.
Yeah, the first thing they did is they opened the border when they got there. Sad to say. Thank you, Cam. Cam, good to see you as well. My channel is slowly getting there. I posted a video last week. I'll have another one coming up tonight.
Oh yeah, that's great. More filming locations.
Yes, so I'll have another one now. In fact, I have today off. I can spend a little more time on it. I still have yet to post my Vasquez Rocks video. That'll be a long one.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll start working on that one because I need to work on that over a period of time.
Yeah,
I got a lot of footage on that. Yes, but
that's wonderful.
Don't want to take away
Vasquez
from
Rocks are a really important Trek monument location. It's wonderful. And yeah, back to the episode. She says that him having pulled everything out of the computer library takes all the fun out of dating. And she says, "Let's flip the tables here." But of course, he takes it literally and flips the table over. So that was the reason for this scene. And inquire about him since, of course, she didn't look anything up, which is great because we don't know a lot about Clyden, or I mean Clyden, Isaac. We don't know a lot about Isaac or what the Kalon are even like.
No, but what we see here, I'll make this fast. But what you see here is Isaac really wanting to get to know the human condition and the human emotions. And I read the book Childhood's End by Arthur C. Clarke, and it was about an alien civilization that came to Earth, and they knew that the only way they could invade was they did it through the children. Is they basically indoctrinated the kids first, and that's how they eventually took over the planet. So I was wondering, because due to, I don't want to give away too much because of the later episodes, I wonder if that's why he's trying to find out so much about her and her kids. But I could be wrong.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Everybody remember that. So, she wants to know what Kalon is like. He gives her the circumference and gravity information, in addition to the fact that only his kind live on it, artificial life forms. Then she wants to know how long he will be sending reports back to his planet, and he doesn't know. That Kalon Primary will tell him. And the presumption is that when the collection of this data is complete, Kalon will decide whether or not to join the Union, and Pop Culture Curator says that means they'll decide whether or not to invade. Then the date is over, and she kisses him. And Isaac ends up having a great summary of the date that was a lot more efficient than the one I made just now. He says, "We attended the symphony, then Dr. Finn consumed an evening meal." Oh, that about covers it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Isaac did pick up on her only disappointment in that he was not spontaneous. So Kelly tells him how Ed once surprised her with the cake. So Isaac decides he should surprise her too with the cake also, but in the middle of the night when she's trying to sleep.
Right.
Well, over anxious.
Yeah.
Well, remember, he doesn't
see
sleep.
It as inappropriate. Right. He doesn't sleep.
So, right.
He doesn't see
he forgot what night is for us. Right.
Yeah. So of course the surprise cake isn't seen fondly, and so she breaks up with him, and so Ty wants some cake, but he doesn't get any. Poor Ty.
Yeah, he was a little heartbroken. He didn't get any cake.
Yeah, why not? Why not have cake at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Well, and they have a replicator. Can't they make all the cake they want any time of day?
I know, right?
But so that establishes that even though
that's
they
exactly
can make
what I was thinking.
Right. So that establishes that even though they can make whatever they want, they still have rules that mommy sets that what they can eat, what they can't eat. Right.
Yeah, I was wondering if there are parental controls on the replicator.
Yes, it's moderation.
Otherwise, if my kid had a replicator,
yeah,
oh my God, he would be pumping out those cookies.
Right. Remember the episode where the 2 kids hacked it and made alcohol?
Right.
So there are parental controls.
Yeah. Well, I figured there were parental controls for alcohol, but for regular food, I guess maybe there is too.
Jill?
Right.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I have to get around the corner. I apologize. I have to head out.
Okay. It was great having you here. Thank you so much.
I had a great time.
Yes, I hope you can come next week
really
too.
Cool
you
were
fantastic.
Yes, nice meeting you too, Pop Culture Curator. Jill, somehow we always end up in the same chat. But yes, I'd be honored if you guys have me back again. I have already sketched out my time every Tuesday with y'all. So thank you. I'm going to start reviewing The Outer Range from Prime. It's a great show. Got a science fiction element to it. So thank you guys. Thank you, Chet, for being here. I've got to go. Thank you. Have a blessed day and enjoy the sunshine.
You too. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Very cool.
Yes, thank you to Rough Girl for joining us today. And we'll get back to the episode in a moment. I'm just going to post her. Oh, wait, that doesn't work yet. Oh. Unless
I'm just laughing at some of the comments.
Oh, it did work finally.
There it is.
Oh, did I miss some good comments here? Let's find out. Cam says, be listening back to chores. Have fun, everyone. You do an excellent stream with great guest hosts, Anti-Derivative Jill and Pop Culture Curator, and Rough Girl TV. So everybody go subscribe to Rough Girl if you haven't already. I was subscribed to her, but YouTube did its usual shenanigans and unsubbed me at some point, so I resubbed today. And No says, if they invent replicators, I am not letting my wife near one. She would put a limit on my chocolate.
I agree, right? Mine would go crazy on making chocolate.
I think he's saying that she won't let him have as much chocolate.
Right, she would lock it out with a code, right? When you want chocolate, you'll get, raisins or maybe some grapes.
Yeah. And so we cut here to John bowling, and he gets a strike. And afterwards, Isaac shows up. I guess the arch for entering the replicator, the environmental simulator is right there. And Isaac shows up wanting to observe the date between John and Ensign Turco because of his failed relationship with Claire. Hearing her talk about not being able to kiss Isaac gives John an idea. Isaac invites her to the holodeck, and he simulates himself as human, and which was John's idea. Which is, of course, it turns out to be the actor who plays Isaac. So this is the first time we get to see Mark Jackson.
Yes.
And he's very good. He's very good at playing a robot, even without his robot suit. So he also deletes all of the personal information that he got from the computer so that he can learn about her in a more organic way. And they kiss again, and they do more than that too. So there you go. And a funny production note here is that the two actors knew that they would be filming a sex scene in a closed set, so they thought they would be shown naked more than just this. So they both did extra workouts and everything, but this was the only scene they got. they were only filmed from the neck up.
Oh, I totally missed it because where they supposedly sealed the relationship. But I know she said she was mad later when she said, "So you dumped me after that."
Mm-hmm, exactly. That's what happened here in this scene. And since they didn't get to, I guess after this they went out for donuts.
Yes. Milton Knowles. If she did raisins or grapes, I would just put an axe through the replicator.
Oh yeah, now we're talking about controlling people's diet through the replicator.
Right. And I'm wondering, if they have a replicator, do you say like, I want chicken soup, a little extra salt, light on the pepper?
Well, yeah, you can program whatever you like into it.
Yeah, usually they just give it a dish. When you watch the shows, I give it a name.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe you could program it where you ask for chocolate and you get grapes, like you said. That would definitely make them mad.
Or carrots.
And apparently, let's see, where are we here? And here Isaac reveals that having had intercourse, that was all he needed to know. That his research is now complete. And so he wants to break off the relationship. And Lamar says, okay, And Lamar says when he wants to do that, he behaves in an unappealing way to get her to break up with him. Isaac does this. And probably, well, I can't describe how funny this scene is without you watching it. You just have to watch it. I'm not going to tell any of the wonderful jokes in this. It's just hilarious the way he tries to do this. And also, being a Doom Cop fan kind of reminds me of Harvey Cthulhu. Anyway, coming to...
that's true.
Uh-oh, puppy problems?
Oh, you can hear. Sorry, they're wanting to go outside. I'm telling them to hold on just a few more minutes.
Okay. See you later, Raymond Feliciano. He has to get going now.
Take care.
And he will listen to the replay. Okay, wonderful. And Raymond Feliciano says Battlestar Galactica, which is another series where there's some robot love going on. Cylon love. And Milton Nose says carrots. I would just stick a knife through the replicator. I wouldn't be so angry as to damage one of my axes from my collection. Oh, I was going through the episode without having sharing my screen because I unshared it for Rough Girl. So I'm going to share my screen again. So you can see that. That's the most important image that I needed to show anyway.
There it is.
Yes. And of course, Claire sees through this charade and knows that he's trying to break up. And she learns the same thing that he told Lamar, that the coupling was the end to what he needed for his research. And of course, because of this, everyone on the bridge is giving him trouble for what he's done. And he tells the captain about having done a spectrographic analysis of the Septar binary system. It would have been nice to learn more about that. We do get to see some of the binary star system.
That's true.
At one point.
I'm glad they had this cameo.
Yes, this is great. This is great because having learned from Isaac simulating the human form, Yaphet tries the same thing. And so we get the most important part of this episode. We get to see Norm Macdonald in his human form, in his human suit, as Sora Pupus might say, his rubber suit. And it quite literally is a rubber suit in this case because he still has his morphing abilities. He can pull the whiskey straight from the bar. And this was really nice. It was really nice to see him. It perked things up considerably. And unlike with the episode with Data,
I'll be right back, Jill.
Okay, that's fine. Claire handles Isaac being like a robot very well, and the script isn't written so because in the Data episode, because they did this on Star Trek Next Generation, they made Data completely unlike Data in order to make the relationship with the human work. And in this case, they do not sacrifice Isaac's artificial makeup to make the episode work. Everything is built around his character. So I think this is a great. It's obviously an homage to that episode, and I'd say an improvement. So Isaac comes over for piano lessons, but she's already hired Lieutenant Kleeman. And I can't really explain this part, so I'm just going to read the dialogue from it.
Gotcha.
If this is due to the termination of our coupling, it would be far more efficient to excise it from your memory and resume standard operating status. And she says, yeah, well, it doesn't work that way for humans. I know you can't understand that, so I don't hate you. I just don't want to be around you any more than they have to. And so then we finally do get to see the binary star system, at least just a little while, which is nice. There's a white star and a red dwarf. a white dwarf star and a red dwarf star. And he describes orbital velocity of the star, but the weird part is here he has to correct himself, and nobody has ever seen him make a mistake before. And they find out that this mistake has occurred because his algorithms have become used to having Claire's input. And this reminds me of when Data says, as I experience certain sensory input patterns, my mental pathways become accustomed to them. The inputs are eventually anticipated and even missed when absent. And so instead of creating a corrective program, it suggests that Isaac win her back by being creative.
Or maybe he was distracted?
He was, yeah, that's what I thought, was that he was just distracted from thinking about Claire. But this is saying that all of his subroutines are more efficient with Claire's presence because they've gotten used to them and have integrated her input into their functionality.
Gotcha.
And so Isaac plays Singing in the Rain and created, maybe, I'm guessing here, a more accurate rain simulation for Claire. And this is definitely something I did not know, that you can run simulations directly on the bridge. Imagine if the krill attack now.
Yeah, you're right about that, and it does show everything is waterproof.
Yeah, right. So the soda on the bridge is totally fine.
Yep.
And Claire asks, why should I say yes? And Isaac says, my internal programs will function more efficiently if you do. Meaning that he's better with her than without her. And so, unlike the Data episode, they actually do end up staying together, at least at the end here. And I'm guessing they make everything like it was before, except for when they go to the simulator.
That's true, yes.
And so what did you think of this episode, Pop Culture Curator?
Well, I liked it.
What were some of your favorite parts?
The relationship between her and Isaac, the doctor and Isaac, I thought was really nice. I liked the way they handled it. I would give it a B.
Yes, me too. That's a good score. I think so. It was definitely better than the first one.
Yeah, it was better than the first one. And I know there's an underlying, especially because we know what happens later of maybe of Isaac's motives. We're not really sure if they're completely honest yet.
Mm-hmm. And right, exactly. We don't know what his intentions are in terms of his species' interest in humanity and, biological life forms in general. But we will find out this season. So, hold tight, because next week we're going to have 2 more episodes, and those episodes are going to be right here. Deflectors and Identity Part 1. So it's going to be a bit of a cliffhanger next week when we review. Yeah,
that means, right. That means everybody will have to tune in to find out what happens.
I know, right? That's going to be fun. All right. And I'd like to thank everybody who came and watched this episode today. Thank you to Milton Knowles. He says, I understand that that is the most adorable robot ever seen. I agree. He says, I understand they're attempting to state a creature of sufficient intelligence would have some sort of an emotion. However, they do it in a crappy way, but at least it's likable. That's that is a valid opinion. Thank you for that. And see if I remember the command here. I think I just made it king here to put up Raymond Feliciano's channel link.
Yes, thank you for joining us, everybody.
Yes, thank you for joining us, Raymond. And thank you for joining us, Sort of Poopus and Cam. And I love food. Always cool to see you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. And there you go. That's who we had today.
Beautiful.
And Pop Culture Curator, I couldn't be more grateful to you for joining me this show, because I know it wouldn't be as wonderful without you, and it was even more fun with Rough Girl here.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, once again, it was an extreme honor. I really appreciate it. And I had a fantastic time. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we really need to help you get your subscribers up. I saw that you finally hit 30. So let's get you back to where you were. You're around 50.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually. Maybe my next video might help a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll post one tonight. Let's just say there's a story. You'll see.
Nice. I like stories.
Okay.
So please sub to Pop Culture Curator's channel too.
Thank you.
And remember that what's even better than my reviews is to go out and watch the Orville yourself to get ready for season 3. And next week we'll continue season 2 again with Deflectors and Identity Part 1. So have a great day, everyone. I'll see you guys next time.
Peace, everyone.
Challenge